Hello and welcome back to our series dedicated to the power of thoughts, in which we talk about how to create the thoughts that will make a difference. And our today's topic is a very interesting one, is how we make our mind our best friend. And to explore this topic with us is Sister MEERA. Sister MEERA, most welcome to you.
Thank you.
And today we are going to talk about the mind, just as we did during our two last episodes, but in a very special aspect, that how we make our mind our friend. They say that human beings are friends and enemies to themselves. No one curses us, no one blesses us, it's all about us. But now we came to know that it's not just because of us, but because of our mind. So how do we make our mind our friend? Can you share your experience, your thoughts about that with us?
Actually, you have to handle your mind like you handle your friends. How do you handle your friend? In a gentle way, with lots of love, right?
No, sometimes I can say to my friend whatever I want because he is my friend.
But still, though, internally, your feeling is,
yeah, that's true.
Kindness.
Yes.
So I have to be, first of all, be kind to my mind. Otherwise, we are so, we are so strong with our mind. Sometimes we say, oh, I want to be happy, but my mind is like this. It is always running everywhere, They try to suppress their mind. They have to curse their mind. They beat their mind, telling you don't think this, you don't think that, So actually it's like punishing the mind, just like you punish your enemies. Yes. So I don't have to do that because my mind is not responsible for all these experiences.
Oh, that's
I am
interesting.
responsible.
And who is responsible then?
I, the soul, I am responsible. My mind, poor thing, it will go in the direction I take. Only because I have left my seat, it's trying to boss me sometimes. So for me, to make my mind my best friend means to feed the thoughts that is healthy to my mind. Like positive thoughts. When I feed my mind with good thoughts, appreciating thoughts, accepting thoughts, it will become quiet. I am the one who is provoking the mind by saying, I am not this, I am not that, I am not good in this,
Oh, suppose I feel that I am good, I really can do it.
Yeah.
And then my mind starts talking to me and says, you're weak, you will not be able to do it.
That's because you are influenced by your subconscious mind. You remember we talked about the subconscious mind, which creates thoughts and it disturbs our present state of mind.
Yeah, we talked about that.
So this is very important in creating my mind and my best friend. I must identify the thoughts that is coming on the screen of my mind, whether it is connected with my subconscious mind is trying to bring thoughts, or it is a conscious thought I am creating now.
But how
so there
do
are
I
two types
discriminate
of
between
thoughts.
them?
Like say, for example, yesterday I got angry.
Yes.
I did not know the angry was coming from my subconscious mind because I got it day before yesterday, so I got yesterday also. But today I have knowledge. I have awareness. I am a soul. I am a peaceful soul. I am not angry. So that awareness is introduced to me today. So when the anger comes because of my subconscious mind, I will not put them into action. So I will have a dialogue with my mind. Just like when there is some misunderstanding between friends, they will sit and have a dialogue.
Yes.
So we have a dialogue and make my mind understand, look, yesterday I acted according to your thought and it was not a good result for me. And today I know that I am a peaceful soul. I am not an angry soul. So I will not put that thought into action. Okay? Okay, let us work together. So we convince each other with realization. So that is like making my mind my friends. Not suppressing, but dialoguing, making my mind understand and get the cooperation of the mind with the intellect, and we both work together in harmony. That is one way of making my mind my best friend. But the other way of making my mind best friend is like, say, sometimes I have a thought. It is based on my subconscious mind. But I don't allow the intellect, I don't allow the thought to pass through the intellect. And I just put it into action, knowing
and
it is wrong.
The intellect is my power to judge, to decide, to choose. Yes.
So sometimes I'm so emotional that
Yes.
I just do the action. It is wrong, I know. In my, there's an inner voice within each one of us. It is telling me, don't do it, it is wrong. But I am so the mind becomes so powerful because the intellect is sleeping. So it will put into action. And I know it is wrong. So seeing the consequences, I regret. So that is like becoming my own enemy, because I know it is wrong. And I'm still going against to my conscience. So this is where I would say that to make my mind my best friend, I must listen to my conscience very often.
Okay.
So it's in another way of saying making your conscience your best friend. Go back to your conscience every now and then, what it is telling you.
Yeah, this is important, because what happens that even with our physical friends, that sometimes they suggest us we should do something wrong, and since they are our friends, we agree to that because we are friends and because we want to maintain that friendship. So I was just having this thought that if I want to make my mind my friend, will it not be the same that sometimes I agree to doing something wrong?
But then again, when I do something wrong, my conscience tells me after doing, this is not right what you did. So that means I must correct it for the next time. So that's why it's very, very important to pause, go slow, not too fast.
Yes.
Then I am not able to listen to my conscience. So when I know something is good and I suppress my conscience and I don't do it due to laziness or carelessness, I postpone, I procrastinate. So that means I have missed the chance.
Yes.
So that is like again becoming my own enemy. So for me to be my own best friend, when my conscience guides me to do something good, I must listen to my conscience and I do it, and I feel satisfied. Even if I get opposition from outside, that doesn't matter. But at least I have a clear conscience and I can live with peace, which is very, very important. And as we were talking in the beginning, nobody blesses, nobody curses. It's only we curse ourselves. And we bless ourselves. That is why it is said, God blesses those who help themselves.
Yes.
God will help those who help themselves. So I have to help myself. So my mind is actually the powerful power that I have. So I have to make sure that I take its cooperation in a loving manner. Handle it like a child, mother handles her child. in a gentle way, in a kind way, so that the power can cooperate. That's why we were talking in a few episodes ago that 10% of the energy of the mind is used, 90% is not being used.
Yes.
So when I make my mind my best friend, all the energy will be used in a constructive way. And I feel satisfied about my life.
I feel another very important thing regarding making my mind my friend is that sometimes my mind really wants to do something great, something very creative, something very new. And then perhaps it's subconscious mind, or please, you can explain that later in more details. But sometimes something inside me tells me that, oh no, you will not be able to do it, or it's not the time, just wait till tomorrow or next year. So I just ignore that very positive wish of my mind. My friend offers me something, and
that
I
is
don't
your
listen.
subconscious mind.
Yeah.
Your subconscious mind.
And then I feel like my friend is sort of gets insulted that, oh no, you should have listened to me because that was really a good idea.
No, that's why we always say that when you are soul conscious, you can listen to the inner voice, your conscience very clearly. So don't be in a hurry to do action. It is only the conscious mind. No, when I perform an action which is a kind of unity between conscious mind and subconscious mind, then I will be very happy. Then there is no guilt or there is no other waste thoughts. So that's why we must listen to the inner voice very often, as much as possible. And that is only, easy when I am always aware of myself as a soul. Why I say that is because the conscience is part of the intellect. It's submerged in the intellect itself. So when I always suppress the intellect, it's also suppressing my conscience. Sometimes I call it as a spiritual suicide. It's a kind of killing myself, knowing something good and not doing it.
Yes.
So it's like I'm bringing a lot of pain to myself. So this is something we have to learn to make our life really happy life. And no guilt in my conscience, because I feel a life which has a clear conscience is a beautiful life. They don't have any fear, they don't have any enemies, they feel they are loved by the world. That kind of feeling comes.
That's true, yeah. Sister Meera, last time, during our last episode, you talked about positive thinking, that it's a very useful way to especially practice that early in the morning for 10 minutes and then in the evening another 10 minutes. Can you suggest us some tip, some useful practical tip how to make our mind our friend? Is there any special exercise? Can we give some special time for talking to our mind?
I would say that it is good to make my mind, first of all, silent, quiet.
Means no thoughts?
No, means in the sense not like thoughtless. Lessen the quantity of thoughts and make the thoughts quality.
Okay.
And in order to do that, I would suggest that just observe the thoughts on the screen of your mind and don't suppress them, don't reject them, let it pass. And then just take a few positive thoughts and reflect on it. This is going to help me to make my mind my friend, to reflect on the thoughts, quality thoughts. So when I dive deep into those quality thoughts, I embody them. So it feels like my mind, my intellect, my sanskaras all come together. And I just enjoy that inner silence, no conflict, no disunity, disharmony inside. So that is a practical sign of my mind being my friend.
How do I reflect on those thoughts?
No, just like I bring those thoughts and I pause.
Okay.
And I just savor the taste of it. And as long as I enjoy, I hold that thought. There is a difference between reflection and ordinary thinking. In an ordinary thinking, you can have any kinds of thoughts, from everywhere. It's not focused. But when we talk about reflection, contemplation, it's a focused, disciplined pattern of thoughts. And so I just pause after every thought, and I feel the vibrations, the energy of those thoughts, and I allow that energy to fill my mind, and then allow that energy to go to every nerve of my body. And that is why we find that, when we practice this exercise, it's very refreshing. When you practice contemplation or reflection on the power of thought, especially positive thoughts, it's very refreshing. It's very relaxing, and it's very making you feel light. And that is why you find that, people who are thinking positive and they are friend to themselves, when you are in their company, you also feel very light.
That's true, yeah.
And you also feel a kind of relaxation.
Yeah. And you want to be in that company.
Yes, and you want to come back to that atmosphere. So how they created, it is the same room we are sitting, but how they created that atmosphere is because of their thinking. And also one more important exercise is that we have to stop physically maybe 1 minute every hour, and become totally silent, embody the thoughts. So when we practice that pause every now and then,
just for a few minutes.
Yes, and it gives us an experience of silence.
Okay.
So it's a silence of the mind. We are able to make our mind silent, and that is a relaxing exercise.
Oh, that's a very good thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, but I just want to ask that sometimes our mind feels very deeply hurt because of something. Some trauma, some problem is really quite deep. And although I may understand the importance of such contemplation or listening to the voice of my conscience, but I tend to tell myself that, oh, no way, I will do whatever I want. That's too much for me. I'm tired. I can't do anything. And the exercises that you mentioned, they're wonderful, but I think they require a very stable, positive stage just in order to start them.
You have to, you create
but
that kind of stage.
If I'm in a sort of, my stage is not that balanced, if I'm disturbed, if I'm angry or frustrated, and I don't feel motivated to start that conversation with my friend. So what would you suggest?
I need to give myself some time to practice this exercise.
Anyway, I have to
it will not happen overnight, but you must have the faith that if you are concentrating your energy on yourself, as the physics says, wherever your attention goes, your energy grows and your life flows. So if you keep on having attention on yourself day after day, you allow that energy to grow, and it will flow naturally, and it will have an impact.
So to some extent, I have to force myself to do it, to discipline myself.
Yeah, of course, any kind of discipline does not come naturally.
Okay.
Either you do it with love or by force, but that is not a force because it's a doorway for freedom. That's why it is said discipline is the key to freedom. Because in the beginning, it is like, taking bitter medicine. To begin with, it is very difficult to swallow, but then after that you are going to get well forever. So it's the same thing with the mind also.
I'm just thinking that it's just like with friends. Sometimes they quarrel, and sometimes one feels that, oh, I'm not going to talk to him anymore. But we are friends, and after some time you sort of take that first step, although you're not easy at that time, but you have to, because you're friends.
But in this context, to make my mind my friend, because we are always together, it's not separate. Mind, intellect and sanskara are not separate from the soul. So the more attention I give to practice this self-awareness,
yes.
So the more the mind comes back to its place. I don't have to do anything to the mind. I just only need to make sure that I am aware of who I am and my intellect is awake. Once my intellect is enlightened, when my third eye is open, I am able to use my mind the way I want to use it. That is called making my mind my friend. If I am able to use the energy of my mind the way I want to use it, so that is it. You have conquered your mind. And they say those who conquered their mind, their thoughts, they conquer the world.
Thank you so much, Sister MEERA. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. So today we heard a lot of useful things about how to make our mind our friend, and how to have a dialogue with our friend, and how not to quarrel with our friend as well. Someone said that if you want to find out if another person is your friend or not, just check if you can sit in silence with that one for at least 10 minutes. Just in silence, without talking, without doing anything. And if you enjoy the company of that person, it means that he or she is your true friend. So today we got this inspiration to sit in the company of our mind in silence and enjoy that company. So hope you join us for our next episode, and we will talk about the power of good wishes. Goodbye.
Shanti Om. I'm a peaceful soul. Om Shanti Om. I'm a peaceful soul. Ye Dwani Mangal Dwani hai. Om Shanti Om. This sound is a sacred sound. Om Shanti.